Alright, what's up yins guys? Time for another video. And this is another video in the series where people play the real life Yu-Gi-Oh! Remind you, this is not if you're looking for the old, decade-old Yu-Gi-Oh! Game videos about this, pass this by, and if you're a little curious, watch on, but it's my disclaimer just to make sure, tell you what you're looking at. That's my disclaimer. But anyway, the real life Yu-Gi-Oh! That people play, which they could manufacture any card that they wish. This one is one of my personal sarcastic favorites here. And I don't care if you're black or white watching this. You can have the white guy or the black guy that you worked with and laughed and joked with that had an ex-wife that acted like this. And certain kind of women, before you judge this, calm down. Yes, actually, there's spousal abuse and behavior that men do that, yeah, is wrong or whatever, too, that does happen. So I'm not grouping women and saying all women are wrong and guys are right. And this behavior, I also will point out, too, that women pull this shit on other women that fight, you know what I mean? All races have done this. It's the baby card. The one who has the baby in her hand that starts crying, and usually the one that does all that has the baby in their hand and does all the yelling, screaming like a banshee and makes the baby cry, is not the bad guy somehow. The person on the other end, a lot of times it's the guy. It can be another woman, and you can be a woman, and some bitch will be screaming at you, like, say, some woman that might be your relative, related to you, friend. And keep in mind, sometimes this shit backfires. You might have stories yourself where this shit backfires, but you see this shit go down in a Walmart parking lot. If you're black watching this, like maybe some black dudes that, like I worked with, that maybe their ex-wife, maybe if you're black or white, you can have an you could have an ex-wife that pulled this shit, but it's not directly just as women, at women. In fact, women, both black and white, actually have pulled. You might have seen similar shit on the TV show Ridiculousness, too, you know, yelling or whatever, and there should be more of it, but, oh yeah, and some of our parents or relatives, maybe, say you had parents that maybe fought too, and maybe you may have been a small kid, and maybe you had that younger brother that was still a baby. Maybe the mother, you might scream like a banshee, and then the father, you may not have the violent father too. For example, yeah, this may have happened in your house. Like, unlike the abusive, violent guy that should go to jail in them cases, you get the woman that's always screaming like a banshee all the time, you know, and they'll have the baby in their hand. Well, some people will think she's the bad guy and it backfires, but you'll get a lot of people. The guy will be nonchalant and calm, and maybe the guy might be partially at fault, and he's smarter. He don't do the raising his voice. He might be partially at fault or not at fault at all. But he can be cool and calm and asking a simple question, or be a nonchalant agitate. It can go either way. But even though she's screaming like a banshee, and her screaming is the thing that starts making the kids start crying and scaring. But in a lot of cases, depending on the value system of the onlookers in a parking lot, the guy can be the real bastard. And and some people, women know this, and it can be like, there can be a scenario where they set that up beforehand, you know what I mean? Because, it usually works when they get their friends on their side. But there could be a scenario where, sarcastically speaking, it can be equivalent to, say, if you can get a baby. Well, I wouldn't take a baby doll or try to do that on a video. It would look weird. But say in a scenario, a cartoonish scenario, like if you guys see the Adult Swim sense of humor or something, that the people that do this, if they could, they would have a baby equivalent to, like, in a holster, like a gun that they can pull on and threaten the guy with. instead of, the shooting of bullets, instead of bullets, it would be the threatening of you look like a. And all walks of life, all nationalities have probably did this. You could probably have Adult Swim like humor cartoons with people of all nationalities and speak all languages doing this, except for maybe the Taliban, Al Qaeda type people that they usually hate to say don't have to worry about it because it's a more serious and ruthless thing that how they are against women and men and anybody that don't follow by their rules. So they might be the only person in the world that, because of their ruthlessness, that the only part of the world which they can't do this, and it's an aside to say that they're not. But anyway, any other things like, say, America, this done a time where the woman will start yelling and all that stuff, even like over stupid shit. You might be in a Walmart parking lot or something. The woman will get mad over stupid shit, scream, and say some kind of shit to embarrass the guy, and the baby starts crying. All of a sudden, even if the guy ain't yelling and he's just trying to make sense of something and ask a simple question, she'll spin a particular thing and say it's an attack on them, and the woman's yelling like a banshee because of babies get scared, and some people fall for it. It backfires on her, or they might be looking at both of them. You know what I mean? But yeah, the baby card and the weaponizing of the baby crying. You know what I mean? You almost want to put a baby in a holster or whatever. But women will do it against another. If you're a woman, you can have that shit pulled against you too. But in a joking comedic saying, an Adult Swim maybe type humor that I got rolling around in my head, say a scenario where if you got two women, maybe you can took women of all couple of different nationalities, both black and white. It goes down and they're all fighting with each other. They got women on their side and women on their side. It'll start out right was, say, the one woman starts out with two. Maybe she'll go in her car and say, "All right, I got a baby too, and it's a cuter baby, and maybe my baby's cuter, and the cry looks more to make you more like a bad guy because maybe this baby's cuter or something, and it looks more." And then maybe her buddy will come up this way, and I got pull out two babies. And then maybe their friends will come here, a couple people, different races, and it'll be a whole parking lot like almost a female mafia thing. Instead of guns, babies, or right, and tactical sling and everything, every single walk of life, right? And they'll all be fighting, and the police will be there. And say you get, then all of a sudden, some other chick walks by, tactical sling or whatever. She breaks the whole thing up and has an ugly baby. Really stinky diaper, stinky puke breath. And then everybody's like, "Oh my God, get away from me." Aliens now knock it off, says, "You get back and this baby's loaded. Deadly pukey breath." And then don't even try to sneak up on me. I got a baby poop grenade launcher, and then I got a sling of dirty diapers I could sling like hand grenades. You get back and don't even think about it. Now all of y'all, put all your purses and all your wallets, all your valuables right down here on the street right now. And you get back. Don't try anything. Or you'll get some good baby puke. They're like, like the ugly baby. And said, "You, give me the keys to your SUV. And you, take all these bunch of valuables here and put it in the SUV. Here, you're my hostage. Get in there. I'm taking this SUV. And don't any of you try anything, some kind of scenario like that, if you want to be comedic about it or whatever the thing. If somebody like, and then you might have maybe the police officer trying to intervene, in an Adult Swim cartoon or something. And hey, don't you move. Like, and there she's running to get away. And it's like, the officer's radioing into the station. And maybe the other officer that they're radioing into, their superior, might have an ex-wife that does the same thing, and say, they're talking like, I don't know, they have babies. And he's probably radioing, "Get out of there now. get away from there, and like, too late, officer down. He got baby puked slung with a dirty diaper, the ugly baby or whatever the hell. Yeah, do something humorous like that, Adult Swim kind of like humor. But anyway, yeah. Everybody loves the weird scenario that we all grew up with and witnessed one way or another. Like I said, in a house, strangers in a Walmart parking lot, whether it's a guy, a guy and a girl, the couple fighting, or even sometimes two girls fighting. The one wants to make the other one a bad guy, having the baby in her hand, and the baby cry, and will create an emotion, if you will, to make one person like the bad guy. But like I said, reminding you, sometimes it backfires, but then you got people that have one or two attitudes about it or whatever, but you know what I mean?